and welcome to your first weekend in quarantine. Hopefully everyone is doing fine. There is no privacy in my house, so my husband is currently yelling at his Siege game, and people are just walking in and out of the room. But that doesn't preclude us, hi sister, that doesn't preclude us from going over the necessities and the basics, because raise your hand if you are going to be on your period next week. Okay, Stacy, I know you don't have your period anymore, so no fair. Hi Dee, how's it going? We're going over how you can survive PMS week in quarantine. Whitney, Larissa, are you guys about to be on your period? All right, get off this call if you're a dude, okay? Because this is only for the ladies. And what I want to talk to you about today is how you can deal with all of the things you have to deal with now and not lose your marbles because you're going through PMS, all right? So I have a couple of my staples here that I wanted to share with you. And sister, I'm so glad you joined because your recommendation is on my recommendation list. So thank you for that. But let's talk about what happens during PMS week, all right? From a hormonal standpoint, here's what happens. Your body should have plenty of estrogen the whole entire cycle, your 28-day cycle. Your estrogen, progesterone kind of, they flow like this. So one will come up, actually estrogen first comes up, then progesterone comes to meet it, then estrogen bottoms out, and progesterone should also bottom out, and then it'll rise again. It just kind of like cycles, that's why we call it a cycle, right? But what happens for a lot of women, the week that they go into PMS, their estrogen bottoms out too quickly, and there's not enough progesterone to meet the need for the body. So women will tend to get really short-fused, very short-tempered. They'll start to crave a lot of foods. They'll start to need a little bit more sleep. They'll start to be a little bit more emotional because your estrogen and progesterone levels are off. Now, if that's the case, number one, we can test for that. So you can look at your estrogen and progesterone levels. If need be, you can get on some bioidentical hormones. I will tell you the pill tends to make this problem worse in the long term. So if you have been on the pill for an extended period of time to fix your hormones, I would definitely recommend talking with someone and perhaps going off the pill, because the pill never fixes hormones in the long run. If you're ever going to go off the pill to regulate your hormones, it's going to be a long uphill battle for you. So just consider that. Now that you have time to think about all these things. Oh, I'm not even seeing. Okay, Whitney said last weekend. Well, Whitney, thanks for being here anyway. My sister does not have her period anymore, but she says she feels like she's PMSing anyways. We have a few more ladies on the call. Thank you for being on here. I am sharing my top 1, 2, 3, 4 items that we need for PMS week. Now, when your cycle does not, when it's not optimal, then you are going to feel like you are raging all week long. And we don't want that, because now we are responsible moms who are homeschooling our children. And we have to always be kind to them and always be gracious with them, even when they don't do their work correctly, or when your teacher is texting you at 4 p.m. on Monday saying, why isn't Roman on the call? I haven't seen him logged in all day. And then you're like, well, I just totally forgot. So that brings in PMS week staple number 1. You can see it's already open. I've not been drinking, just so you know. Today, right? But this is a $5 wine called Grifoni from Stacy Woodward at Trader Joe's. It literally is $4.99. It's an Italian wine. It is super helpful because it is not from the United States. And so it tends to affect people a little bit less than like all the mega purple and a lot of those nasty additives that we have from California wine. Not to say I don't love California wine, because I do, but I am saying that this Italian wine tends to give people less of a headache because there are less additives in it. And bonus, it's only $4.99. So if you have lots of people in your house all the time, you can afford to, always have a nice bottle of wine out. All right. Kristen says she's wasting her reset lunch. Don't do it, Kristen. You've made too much progress. All right, so that is staple number 1. Obviously, that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, right? Don't drink too much wine, please. And just, keep it to 1 or 2 glasses, mostly on the weekends. But if you feel like you're going to lose your crap, then you might as well have a glass of wine. All right, it tends to also chill your husband out when he sees you drinking a glass of wine. He's like, oh, okay, good. All right, it's going to be a little bit of a nicer night than it was last week or last night. All right, the next thing that I want you to realize is when you are going into PMS week, your body tends to dump magnesium. It is a time of stress for women to go into their period. It is, like I said, hormones are kind of, ebbing and flowing. You're dealing with the fallout emotionally and physically. A lot of women tend to get more tired the week before their period. They tend to experience aches in their muscles and also in their uterus. That doesn't necessarily happen just when you're on your period. It happens for a lot of women the week before their period too. So my second recommendation is one of my other favorite drinks, Natural Calm. So this is Natural Vitality natural calm powder. It is magnesium citrate. So this is really helpful for women too, because a lot of women tend to get constipated. We are saying that. Oh, hey, Kurt's here. A lot of women tend to get constipated the week before their period. So magnesium citrate has a nice, relatively gentle laxative effect, and it also helps calm your body down. All right. When you are deficient in magnesium, you will tend to get crampy, like in your muscles, really. So like leg cramps, arm cramps, symptoms of all over achiness, like fibromyalgia symptoms, can increase the week before your period because you can be deficient in magnesium. If you're not sleeping well, if you're achy, and if your fuse is very short, you know that you probably need some magnesium. So I would take 1.5 teaspoons of this natural calm powder in a warm glass of water right before bed. I recommend that women drink that while they're sitting in the bath, because then you get that double kind of relaxation effect. So especially this week, you guys, if you're about to be on your period and you're kind of stressed out because of coronavirus, and let's face it, you're homeschooling lots of children, then please get yourself some natural vitality powder. They have it here in Bakersfield at Sprouts and Lassen's and Cones. You can also get it, the big one you can get on Amazon. But I did just hear from someone that Amazon Prime is no longer a thing right now, so you'll have to wait like 3 or 4 days. If you're in a big pickle, I have lots of magnesium calm. So if you really need to come by and grab some, I will help you out with that. All right. Kristen says, I'm eating, not wasting my oh, good. That's better, Kristen. You're eating your reset lunch while you're watching me. That's wonderful. It's kind of late, girl. Have lunch earlier tomorrow. All right. Now, Jamie says, okay, that's what I need. My sister's always recommending me to get on birth control because my periods are so bad, but I don't want to. I think that's a really wise thing. Obviously, there's a lot going on, Jamie, with any hormonal dysregulation, but the pill is a really bad fix to a long-term problem. So I would do, a myriad of other things before you go on the pill. Number one, the first thing I would do before you go on the pill, and this is my third recommendation for things to get you through PMS week, is protein. I did go get some beef jerky that is lunchbox ready, which is ironic because we no longer are using lunch boxes at my house. But getting enough protein the week before your period is really going to help your hormones. So again, that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. You don't have to eat beef jerky. You can do chicken or shrimp or seafood or red meat for those of you who can handle it. You're going to want to get about 20 grams of protein with every meal the week before your period. Now, you guys have, followed me a little bit and realized that I'm, getting into this really fun blood type diet sort of thing. And I've seen how different blood types really utilize different macronutrients in beneficial and non-beneficial ways. So if you're a blood type A, you do better with lighter proteins. So seafood, fish, poultry, chicken, turkey, those things. If you're a blood type O, you do better on red meat. So you can, eat ribeyes and ground beef and all those delicious things the week before your period. Make sure that you're getting at least 20 grams of protein 3 times a day. You need sufficient amounts of protein and also saturated fats from animal products, as well as B vitamins, in order to make your master hormone pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is what gives you eventually normal levels of progesterone, and then also testosterone and estrogen. The cascade looks different on both sides, but suffice it to say, you have to have sufficient amounts of animal products in order to create normal amount of period hormones. So the week before your period, when you already know that your estrogen and progesterone levels are going to be off, be extra nice to yourself and give yourself plenty of protein 3 times a day. All right. Nicole says, I love that powder. I sleep like a baby when I take it. Me too, Nicole. This powder is really safe to give your kids too. We were praying with our kids today. Well, we did like home church, and all of my kids were praying about the coronavirus, and it is something that they're picking up a little bit of, that cultural anxiety that's going around right now. So do make sure that you're putting things in place for your kids as well, like making sure you're talking with them about it, praying with them about it if need be, and then definitely using this for them. While adults use 1.5 teaspoons a day, kids can take 0.75 to 1 teaspoon a day in warm water, and it helps them sleep and relieves their anxiety as well. Stacy said, you need Calm. Sister, I got you. Becky said the gummies of Calm are at Target, and she's found the powder at Walmart. Fantastic. So it's everywhere. You can get it anywhere. You also don't have to get that particular brand. However, I really do like that brand. It seems to standardize very well, but I've seen other people or other brands at different stores that's simply a magnesium citrate powder. Flavored is going to be better because regular magnesium does not taste good. All right. Erin, what do you mean chomps? Erin said chomps, and I don't know what she means by that. All right, let's go through another thing that's really going to help you the week before your period, okay? Now, this is kind of funny, but I'm telling you, I freeze grapes every single week, like sweet red grapes. And when you freeze them, they get a little bit tastier. So let's just say you're trying to work on your health during the quarantine. And I do want you to work on your health during the quarantine. Why wouldn't you, right? The week before your period, you're going to get super craving-y, right? Like you're going to want to eat all the things. That tends to happen for most women the week before their period. I will let you in on 2 secrets. The first secret is the reason you're craving chocolate is because your body actually wants the mineral magnesium. So again, our natural calm powder to the rescue. When you take 1.5 to 2.5 teaspoons of magnesium every single day, the week before your period, you will notice that you will cut down on your chocolate cravings. Now for me, I love chocolate, but my scalp doesn't. I have psoriasis. So when I have chocolate, it tends to increase my itching and my general feeling of uncomfortability on my scalp. And so it's not worth it for me all the time to eat it, even though it's delicious, because I don't want to deal with not being able to wear black, my favorite color, the next day, right? Gina, I will get to you on the first thing I mentioned to take. It's wine, I'll just tell you. But let's go over how you do this. You get a big thing of grapes, like Sprouts has them right now for 88 cents. I cut them into like normal portions, and then I put them in a Ziploc freezer bag, freeze it for 1 night or 2 nights, whatever. And you've always got something cold and sweet and a little bit creamy, to have after lunch or dinner, right? Or anytime during the day. Well, we're in quarantine, really, and you have a sweet tooth. So if you can't get your chocolate, or if it's my husband yelling at the TV, or if you want to be a little bit healthier, I will tell you, and I'm not lying to you, frozen grapes are a great way to satisfy your sweet tooth. They also do have, vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and some fiber, and so they do tend to be a really good substitute for processed crappy food that isn't going to make you feel better after you have it. Gina, you said, what is the first thing you mentioned to take? Allow me to tell you, it's this Grifone. It's this Italian wine that you can get at Trader Joe's for $4.99. All right. I did drink a glass last night. You can see it was only 1 glass, I promise. A glass, every once in a while, not a big deal, helps you get through PMS week. And then, finally, I'm just going to throw this in here. My azaleas are blooming. I love azaleas. I love how bright and cheery and fun they are. So do yourself a favor and just go out in your yard, or, ask your neighbor if you can go into their yard and just trim some flowers and some greenery and put it around your house and, make it a nice place for you while you're in quarantine. If you are going to be on your period this week, check in with me. I am going to be doing videos as many times as I can this week, just to give you guys a little bit of background on what causes hormonal dysregulation, why you have it, and what you can do to get rid of it. All right, you guys, have a great Sunday.